Math 2, Unit 6, Review Worksheet. Problems 1 through 9. Select the correct multiple choice response. Show all work. So we start here by cross multiplying. 14 times x is 14x. And 8 times 35 is 280. And we divide both sides by 14 and we get x equals 20. D. Number 2. Again, we will cross multiply. This time we have to remember to distribute, so it's 5 times x, which is 5x, and 5 times 10, which is 50, and that equals 3 times 45, which is 135. We subtract 50 from both sides, and we get 5x equals 85. Divide both sides by 5, and we get x equals 17. B. Number 3. Given that triangle KLM is similar to triangle KQP, which side below makes the proportions correct? So we have KQ, which is the whole length, over KL. So we should have KP over KM. So the answer would be KP. A. We said the whole side, or the length of the big triangle over the side of the small triangle, equals the length of the other side over the length of the short side. Number 4. Which proportion is accurate for the diagram shown? So here we have DH over CK. That is the side over the side equals the side over just part. So that's no good. So A is out. D is DH, okay, so the side of the small triangle over the side of the big triangle equal to the bottom half of the big triangle, so that's no good either. And down here we have the right side of the small triangle over the right side of the big triangle equal to the left side of the small triangle over the left side of the big triangle, C plus K. So there's our answer. Okay, it's kind of strange to say, but right side over right side equals right side over right side. Or I'm sorry, right side over right side equals left side over left side. Moving on. A 6-foot boy has a shadow of 4 feet. At the same time of day, a tree has a shadow of 24 feet. What is the height of the tree? So again, there's a couple different ways to set up this ratio and proportion, but I'll go 6 over x equals 4 over 24. So 6 over x equals 4 over 24, which when you cross multiply, you get 4x equals 144. Divide both sides by 4, and we get x equals 36. D. Okay, number 6. Before I can do anything, I have to find out what these missing angles are. So 30 plus 25 is 55. Subtract that from 180, we get 125. 125 plus 25 is 50, so that's 30. So now what we're looking for is B and X should match up. B and X, that's good. B and X, that's fine. B and Z, that's no good. B and Z, no good. Okay, so now what we're looking is to have A and Y match up. A and Y match up, that's good. A and Y, nope. So our only choice is A. Okay. Triangle A prime, B prime, C prime is the image of triangle ABC under a dilation with a scale factor of 2.5 centered at the origin. If line segment AB is 8 inches long, what is the length of line segment A prime, B prime? So it would basically be 8 times 2.5, or 2.5, which is 20. Okay. Number 8. Okay, triangle ABC is similar to triangle GJL. What is the measure of angle B? So before we can answer this, we better fill in the missing angles. So we know that A is matching up with G, so G is 25. We know that B matches up with J. J is 100, so B is 100. So we can fill that in, 100 degrees. And C matches up with L. Well, this is 125, and this is 125. So 125 from 180 is 55. So they're both 55. So L is 55 degrees. Find the scale factor of the small triangle to the large triangle. Well, since we know AB matches up with GJ, we can say that it is 18 to 22. That is the scale factor. When reduced, we get 9 over 11. That is a scale factor. It should be a ratio, a fraction. You could also write it as 9 to 11 this way. Okay, moving on to number 9. So we know that A, B, C, E, F is similar to W, P, X, Z, R. So they're going different ways, so we have to be careful. So angle A should match up with angle W, which is 85. I'm using this similarity statement right here. P is right here, so it should match up with B right there. And we have B is 120, so P is 120. All right, moving on to number 10 through 14. 10 through 14, determine if the triangles are similar. Complete the statement of similarity. State the postulate or theorem that justifies the similarity. If not similar, write not similar for both A and B. All right, so triangle TLZ. TLZ, we want to know if it's similar to triangle CLH. Well, here we can check similarity by going 9 over 6. 9 over 6 should equal 18 over 12. When we reduce, 3 goes into both of those to create 3 halves. 6 goes into both of these to create 3 halves. So they are similar. Okay, they share this angle, by the way. So by side, angle, side, we can say these two triangles are similar. So TLZ is similar to CLH by side, angle, side. Okay, so we're looking at URE. Well, we know this guy is 42 because of vertical angles. And let's see, 42 plus 88 is 130, which means this is 50. And 70 plus 42 is 112. And 112 from 180 is 68. So these two triangles are not similar. So we'll put just NS for not similar on both lines. All right, moving over to RQS, we want to see if it's similar to this triangle. And these two lines are parallel, which means alternate interior angles are congruent. So we know those two guys. So that's enough, but we also know that vertical angles are congruent. So we can say these two triangles are congruent by angle, angle. Now we just got to make sure we get it right. So we go RQS. So RQS, notice one line, two lines, three lines. So we'll go UTS, one line, two lines, three lines. Moving down to number 13. So we're looking at triangle LMP being similar to triangle PMN. And that is true because of angle. Well, we know that this is a 90-degree angle because these two have to be supplementary. So angle, angle proves angle, angle. So LMP is similar to PMN by angle, angle postulate. Moving on to KGN is similar to, well, let's see. Let's compare these angles, or excuse me, these sides. So I'm going to put them in order. So 6 over 8, because those are the two smallest. Then 9 over 12, which should be equal to 15 over 20. Now we reduce. 2 goes into both of those, and we get, I'll put them over here, 3/4. 3 goes into both of those to give us 3/4. And 5 goes into both of those to give us 3/4. So these two triangles are similar by side, side, side. Now we just have to make sure we get everything right. So it goes KGN. So it goes the middle length to the longer length to the shorter length. So it looks like it's HLA. Moving on to number 15 through 18. The following figures are similar, so we know they're similar. Find the values of the variables. Alright, so we know these are similar, so we would have to say that because of the two 90-degree angles, that these two angles are going to be congruent because we know these two angles are congruent. So that helps us know what parts are corresponding. So in this case, we know that 4 and x correspond, that 5 and y correspond, and 6 and 18 correspond. These are important ones right now because it'll help us create our scale factor. So for every 6 units in this triangle, there are 18 units in this triangle. So we'll put 6 over 18, which reduces to 1/3. This is our scale factor right here, and we can use that to find x. So basically it's a 1-to-3 ratio. So 1 is to 3 as 4 is to x. We cross multiply, we get x equals 12. We can do the same for y. So 1 is to 3 as 5 is to y. We cross multiply, we get y equals 15. Okay, same thing over here. We have a smaller triangle that is similar to a bigger triangle. And we know that again because these two guys are congruent because corresponding angles are congruent, which means these two guys are also, and obviously they share that one. So that'll help us figure out what sides to match up. So I look over here and I can see in the small triangle this side is 36, which means this side is going to be 36 plus 12 or 48. And we can reduce that. We know that 12 goes into 36 3 times, and we know 12 goes into 48 4 times. So our scale factor is 3/4. For every 3 units here, there are 4 units on this one. So now we can use that to find x and y. So to find x, we'll say that 36 over 18 equals 48 over x. Now this again can reduce because so it reduces down to 2 over 1 equals 48 over x, which when we cross multiply we get 2x equals 48, which means x equals 24.